Inktober. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Well, here I am. So it's day 15, and I do think it's going pretty well. I am starting to get through some of the illustrations. As you can see, I'm not really sticking to the ink thing because I've got some wider goals around doing sort of like look development and storyboarding and like key frame looks for different projects and things. So I'm going with the watercolor because I have it and I want to practice it some more. And so I am up to day 14. So it's day 15 now. So I need to get started on this next one. I have an idea what I'm going to do for guidebook, and I have a general idea of what I'm going to do for grungy. So that's fine. But after that, I'm out of reference. So I think I'm going to reassess a little bit and continue the project. I'm not going to stay perfectly on time, but that's all right. We're just going to do the best we can. But what I thought might be good would be to talk you through some of the supplies that I had options of using, all the different supplies that I was going to use, and what I'm actually using. So first things first, here are a bunch of pencils and pens that I've had the option to use. I've got a lot of different ink pens that I've collected over the years. I've got this brush, which is so expressive and really nice. The problem is it's not waterproof, and so it's really easy to smudge the water afterward. But this is one of those pentel brush pens, and that is waterproof. So if you let that sit for a while, it's gonna give you a lot to work with. So that's really cool. Obviously, I've got microns. I love a micron. I picked this up at London Graphics Center. This is a Sakura Pigma FB. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice to work with. I'm actually working on watercolor paper, so it's a bit weird, but it is waterproof, so that's nice. Yeah, a bunch of pencils and stuff like that, but the thing I'm really using is this. This is the Koh-i-Noor. It's just a clutch pencil thing, but you've got like a nice, I think it's like a 2mm or 3mm lead, and it's 6B. So what I do is I start out by going in with this to do a very rough sketch, and then I continue on from there. And then I'll do one of these I'll just kind of press this down a little bit to get the excess off there. But yeah, if I wanted to do a little blending and stuff like that, I could. And then what I do is I go in with a fine liner or a brush pen to lay down some initial dark shapes and black lines and stuff like that. And then we move on from there. But I wasn't always going to do that. Let's see what else we've got to choose from. Right, so this is a bunch of different kinds of paint and ink and stuff like that. And let's look at this stuff because, you know, what I was going to do was just limit myself to grayscale, black and white. I know that proper inking is a challenge. So I wanted to kind of respect that a little bit and just kind of play to my strengths, because what I really wanted to do was work fast. So this is what we've got. I've got some acrylic paints here. So this is student grade Mars Black that I got from Hobbycraft. So this is actually quite a warm black, and it's okay to work with, but I think that for the very small shapes that I'm doing, very small canvases that I'm working on, or squares that I'm working on, I don't really get the precision that I'm kind of looking for. So I was going to do full on just black and white illustrations with acrylic using this golden stuff. Now this is the good stuff. If you were going to start out with acrylic paints, I would just get a black and a large white one, and you would be off to the races, and you would learn a lot about how this acrylic paint works. It's really good. Another option for white is this Sennelier. I think this is considered their student range, but it's a little bit better quality than their usual student range stuff. So if you pair that with this, you're off to the races. Like if you have a good quality white, then you can get away with a sort of worse quality black. And this isn't terrible. Look, I don't want to shit on the Pibio stuff. It's pretty good. It's just compared to the golden, it's not as great. Let's see what else we have here. We've got some more markers. I like the Winsor & Newton Pro markers. They're super cool. This is my favorite pen ever. I'm going to start doing pocket notebook and commonplace book videos. And I want to talk about this V5 high-tech point. Oh yeah, that's my favorite pen in the world. I've also got the beautiful Pilot G-Tech C4. I'm not even using these, but they are super cool pens. They go in the pen box, not in this box. Okay, so let's talk about ink. Now, ink, I've got the standard, just because it's easy to get in the shops around me. I got the standard Winsor & Newton Black Indian ink. And I also picked up the white. And they're great. There's nothing wrong with them. They're really cool to work with. I'm just not an expert at using ink just yet. And the acrylic is kind of where it's at for me. So I'm not as well versed in these, but I am using it a little bit. I even wanted to try this. So this is the typical sort of illustration-y type of way of using ink, which is to have the pure black ink, right? To have the pure black ink, and then you have various grades of diluted ink, right? So you have a very dark ink with just a little bit of water. Then you've got 50-50 water and ink. And that's what this is. This is, I stole these from my wife. Actually, no, she's very kind and she gives these to me when she's done with them. So this is 50-50 ink. And then this one is the light. It's a very light diluted ink. Steve Rude is doing some really cool videos on this. So check out Steve Rude's stuff. And also Matteo Scaletta. I mean, you got to go and check out Matteo Scaletta's work, right? And his ink wash stuff is amazing. And then you can use gouache. You can go over on top of that. If you need white, you can go over on top of it with anything. If you've got white ink, if you've got white acrylic. This is gouache. This is actually the zinc white gouache, which is a little bit more for mixing colors. And it's all dried out, but it's gouache, so you just add water to it and it's fine. Speaking of gouache, that's what this little bag is for. And yeah, this is just various different watercolors. So this is watercolor ivory black. This is Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache. This is the permanent white. This is the good stuff. If you were going to start with gouache, I would say a black and a white, and you're good. You can learn all about gouache with just this. At one point in my life, I picked up I also have gray. This is a medium gray, but it's a little bit warmer than I would like. They say it's neutral, but it's not. Right, so what else? Right, so what else? Whoops. So remember that when Arteza was a thing? Are they still making stuff? Are they still releasing stuff, or are they now under a different brand? I picked up the big pack of gouache colors, and so there's a black and a gray in there, and these are nice too. I quite like these. But you know what I decided to go with was literally just because I'm going for speed, so I'm going for the pencil sketch and the ink pen. And you know what, it's not as precise because I'm working on watercolor paper and it's a little bit tricky, but that's all right. But let's talk about paint. Okay, so paint. So I am using a beautiful block of Arches watercolor paper that I've had for a million years, and I've been afraid to use it. Do you do that? Do you buy expensive supplies, art supplies, and then you're afraid to use them and then never use them? And then I just use the cheap paper and the cheap stuff that I've got forever and not use the good stuff? Yeah, I did that for a while. But now I've sort of made a deal with my wife that, that I can't really buy a lot more art supplies unless I'm going to use some of the stuff I have. So, but that's some good watercolor paper. That's what this is. All of these are on Arches, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying using it. It's got a certain way of working, doesn't it? But I am enjoying it. And then here are the paints. This is the actual paint I'm using. This is watercolor. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I love this paint. It's mostly, I'll do a big zoom in sort of pan. This is mostly Winsor & Newton. There's a little bit of De La Rowney, and there's a little bit of Cotman, and there's just one or two Daniel Smiths in there. But for the most part, it's Winsor & Newton, sort of the artist grade stuff. I'm one of those guys that went and bought a bunch of stuff and I never used it. So now this project is about using this stuff. So why am I not doing the ink? I have nothing against it. I just want to paint. So that's what I'm doing. Here are the brushes that I'm using. Here are a bunch of cheap brushes. There are some flats and some rounds and some stuff like that. You can pretty much use anything you want, right? These are just basic synthetic brushes that you can get anywhere. You don't even have to spend a lot of money because I think you just want to get a brush and try it out. But I also have some of the good ones. Well, these are the Aquafine, the Daily Rowney Aquafine ones. So I've got that. I've got some System 3 and some Cotman from Winsor & Newton. I've got several of the Aquafine ones. So these are really good brushes, actually. So these are actually really inexpensive as well, but they're good brushes. This is what I used forever when I was learning to paint. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. They're really good. So I'd recommend getting some of these if you want to. Size 6, size 3, size 8. And this is the 1-inch sort of liner brush, the script brush they call it. It's really cool. I also have fancy brushes. These are by Escoda. Now look, Escoda, this is the good stuff. If you really want cool brushes, check out these Escoda brushes. They're really good. If I can actually get them in camera, then I'd be able to show them to you. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying these Escoda brushes. I got the set, so this is the, I got the David Taylor set, and then I just got a couple of the Versatile synthetic ones. So it's the Prado and the Versatile. Lovely brushes, really good quality. Let's just see the whole process. So here's the sketch. And then I sort of clean up the sketch a bit and go in with maybe a little bit better of a pencil to clean up the sketch. And then here's some inking examples of just lines. I'm not the best inker in the world. I think I could spend time and learn how to be a good inker, but I just don't have that time because I work full time. So what else? Okay, so, and then I lay down an initial first coat of paint. So this is the first coat of paint. And then I go in and sort of punch up the darks. So you go darker and darker and darker. You start out as light as possible, and then you go darker and darker and darker as you go. So that's really cool. And then what you can do is you can actually do some scrubbing to pull some of the white back out, right? So if you need to, so what I like to do is when I'm painting an acrylic, which is my usual thing, I will try to do an initial sketch and then go for, I'll cover the whole canvas with a tone, just so that way I get rid of the white. And then I'll go for the darkest darks. And then I'll go for sort of some midtones, right? But then go for the darkest darks, set that up, and then go for the lightest lights and then work with it, go back and forth as much as you need to as you go. And that's the way I like to do it. If you want to hear anything else about this process or how I do it, I am going to be releasing some more videos, probably as shorts. I'm going to try to do some atmospheric prose. I'm going to try to write some cool, mysterious story stuff to go with the illustrations. Please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you next time.